Hello, my name is Biljana and I'm an LLM student at Temple University. I'm going to show you what it's like to be a student at the program. I live in downtown Philadelphia, which is great. It's really easy to get to Temple from here, only a 10-minute ride on a subway. The law school is here on Temple's main campus. It's a beautiful campus and there is always a lot going on here. This is Klein Hall and that's where I have most of my classes. Let's go inside. The campus is very secure. You always need to show your ID in order to get in. Now we are going to go into one of my favorite classes, US Business Planning for International Transactions with Professor Fenton. It's a really great class because it prepares us for what we are actually going to see if we go into a law firm.
Last week in going through some of the general structure of the agreement, we got some input from some of the LLM students that the way the U.S. credit laws work is not necessarily the same as it would be in Europe or in other jurisdictions.
International LLM students come from all over the world. I'm from Bulgaria, and now I want you to meet one of my friends, Maria, who comes from Ireland.
I want to work in an international law firm where there'll be interactions with multiple jurisdictions, so I feel having the International LL.M will give me an edge in that field.
So, since we are able to choose our own courses here, what is the particular area of interest that you chose?
Well, at the moment, trial advocacy is taking up a lot of my time. I really enjoy it. I actually have my trial on Saturday, which is exciting because I get to put everything I learned through my evidence classes and put into action in an almost real-world style scenario.
And although Cody Hayes might have pulled the trigger, it was Frank Johnson who was the puppet master.
I always wanted to do it. It was one of the main reasons I came to Temple because it's the #1 trial ad program.
Now we're gonna go into the library. With over 500,000 volumes, this is one of the largest law libraries in the United States. It's open 24 hours, 7 days a week, and it has lots of quiet areas to study. The law school is completely wireless. I can use the internet anywhere I want to. So if I don't feel like studying in the library, I can always study out in the lounge. There's also this brand new tech center on campus with hundreds of Mac and PC workstations, printers and scanners. They even have laptops that you can borrow and they're really helpful if you have any problems. Between classes, I like to spend time outside studying or just hanging out with friends. I also try to find time to exercise. There is a great gym on campus and lots of sports activities to get involved in. Now I'm going to meet up with some of my fellow students and friends. Johan from Dominican Republic, Jeff Hong from China, and from Mexico, Alvaro. Why did you decide to come to Temple, Jeff?
Temple is a big name in China. Temple has lots of foreign programs in other countries. Also, there is a program in Tsinghua University, which is the one of the best universities in China.
Well, I practiced 4 years before coming here. When I return with an LLM to my firm, I'm gonna get promotion.
I think that it's a great experience because everybody shares their own knowledge, and that's how you learn more.
If you think about the impact of that opportunity that the U.S. gives you, in the middle of this globalization environment, you are able to make friends from almost every part of the world. And law is now getting globalized also, so you need people almost everywhere in the world.
Assistant Dean Ferguson is in charge of the international and graduate legal programs at Temple Law School.
Temple's LLM program started in 1974, and we've had over 700 alums, some of whom have become very, very prominent in their fields. And they've gone into the private sector, the public sector, and the academic sector. For instance, we have 4 Supreme Court justices
How important do you think is the alumni network for the International LL.M students?
These are your classmates. Even though they weren't exactly in your class, you all share the Temple experience, and we find that the alums are very, very happy to be contacted by graduates or upcoming graduates, and they talk about careers, they talk about opportunities, sometimes they offer an internship. It's actually been a really fruitful connection.
Another great thing about Temple Law is that the professors are really accessible, and that's probably a little bit different from what you know from your own country's law school. How does the law school benefit from the LL.M students?
They bring an enormous vitality to the classroom. They also bring a set of experiences and perspectives that help enrich the discussion. I'll give just a quick example. A couple of years ago I was teaching about letters of credit, and I said in a certain fact pattern a bank would take a certain action. And one student raised her hand and said, well, actually, I work at a bank in Nigeria, and we would handle it differently. And so we put the two different approaches up on the board, and we compared the strengths and weaknesses.
How do the International LL.M students benefit from being in the law school?
They get a very in-depth and rigorous introduction to another legal system, and for many of them, another form of legal thought. And I think that when a Brazilian or Bolivian or Bulgarian student goes back home, she knows both how lawyers think and operate in her country and how they think and operate abroad, particularly in the US. So she can navigate the two systems.
The class we're about to go into now is a comparative law course on dispute settlement. Professor Severide, who teaches this course, actually founded the International LL.M program at Temple. Karen McMichael and her office take really good care of us. In the beginning, she told us that if we have any questions, from where to get our haircut to how to do our research for our homework, we can always go and talk to her. Now I'm going to go and see Karen and talk to her about the clinical opportunities at Temple.
A clinical course is one where students are trained in the beginning of the semester to do certain kinds of legal skills, and they will all have an opportunity to use those skills in a practical legal setting. For example, we have Supriya Pai, who is working in the nonprofit organizations clinical, and she's advising people who are setting up nonprofit businesses.
All the Department of Revenue, see what they accept as documentation.
We also have students who are doing clinicals such as Lan Rongji, who's working in the housing court clinical, and he was trained in the beginning of the semester as a mediator. He is now helping resolve disputes in the landlord-tenant court of Philadelphia Housing Court.
I want to tell you what is wrong, what is right. I want to tell you what to do, what not to do, but I just encourage you.
So there's lots of opportunities, and many of our international students have found it a great and rewarding experience.
Now it's time to me to head back to the library and do some studying. But you can't study all the time. So it's great to live in a city like Philadelphia where there's so much fun stuff to do. If you enjoy dining out as much as I do, you would really love Philadelphia, because here you can find a lot of great restaurants with all different kinds of food. On weekends, my friends and I usually hang out together, go listen to some music or go out dancing. There are great sports teams for people who like that. It's really easy to get to New York or Washington, D.C. to see some sights. Tonight is a weeknight though, so my friend Maya and I are going to grab a quick bite at one of our favorite little restaurants and get back to studying. So now I have given you an idea what it's like to be an LL.M International student at Temple. I gotta go. Hope to see you on campus soon.